Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to talk a little bit about today is another one of my 12 shots of golf videos, and we're going to talk a little bit about the mindset and how my data can change your mindset, make you a lot more relaxed, a lot more sort of freer swinging on the golf club once you start to understand what you need to achieve to play to your level. So I'm going to play 3 holes. Scratch golfer, going to go through the data of playing the 3 holes that we're going to play. We're going to play a par 5, par 3 and a par 4. And show you mentally what I'm thinking as I'm playing the hole and how that keeps me in a much calmer state on what I'm looking to achieve. So first hole here at Corinthians is a 550-yard par 5. And amazingly for a scratch golfer, professional golfer like myself, that's a flat par 5. I should par this pretty much most of the time. Sometimes I'll birdie it, sometimes I'll bogey it, but on average I'll take 5 shots. And what we're going to do to start with, we're going to look at the data when I get to the green. On average, how many times it takes me to 2-putt, what's the distance that I would 2-putt it from. And that would be around about 25 feet. So that's my initial goal. That's what I sort of look at and I think, okay, if I can get within 25 feet of the hole after 3 shots, I'm pretty much bang on par. And I don't really mind how I achieve that, as long as I achieve that. But what we're going to do, we're going to play the hole. As we get to each shot, we'll give you an idea of roughly how I'm doing. Am I on line to do that? Am I ahead of the game? I'm a little bit behind. And we'll play the 3 holes, but we'll show you as we go through each hole what I would look to achieve for my level and how well I'm doing after each shot. So first hole, as I said, par 5, over 500 yards, 550 yards, and goal, just get the ball off the tee, get it in play. So I've got my picture of where I want to go. We've got a golfer ahead of us. He's well out of the way. I'm not going to reach him. He's over 300 yards away. Let's make a good swing. Get this down the fairway. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Ground is quite hard at the moment, so that might drift over to the right edge of the rough. It should be fine and give us a clear shot through to the green. But we'll go up, look at what we've got left, give you the data, how well I did on that tee shot. In theory, if we've played it correctly, it should be a par 5. The data we give you, I should now take 4 shots from that position to get it into the hole. Let's see how good the drive was. So I've got to my ball, I've hit that drive really nice, and you can see I've still ended up in the light rough. Ground here at the moment, I mean in the UK we're now coming into July and we've not really had any rain now since probably the end of March. Odd day, but nothing really. So the golf course is becoming quite bouncy, and it's quite an important thing to understand that. That may be a video I might do in the future regarding how to play in these sort of scorched conditions. So what should I have left? Well, if I've hit a decent tee shot from here, on average I want to be somewhere around about 300 to 330 from the green, and that would now, on average, I'd take 4 shots to get down from here. So let's see what we've got. Let's get a number going up to the green. The thing of these lasers, you can get some really good numbers. And I'm picking that up, and I've got 316 yards still to go. So I'm pretty much bang on where I need to be for that shot. And just to give you an idea, and just show you as we play this hole, if I've driven it to there and I've got around about that 315, 320, that's a par shot. That's still keeping me on for my par. My next shot, I need to be getting up towards 130 yards from the green in that area, 120 to 140. And then, as we said on the tee box, want to get within about 25 feet of the flag after our 3rd shot. So at the moment, that was a par tee shot. Okay, wind's just picking up slightly. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. But the goal, just keep this slightly up the left side. Ground we saw kicking the ball this way. Play it up there. Just going to play a little hybrid. That should get me around that sort of 180 to 200 yards. I want to move it up the hole. Nice and balanced. Keep that rhythm of swing. So that's nicely up the left side of the fairway. Should kick back into the middle. On this occasion, it's kicked dead straight. So I think we're just in the left rough. But you can see, because it is so dry, the rough at the moment isn't that rough. It's just the conditions we've got this time of year. So I hit that well. We're looking to be roughly around about 120, 130 away from the green. If we've achieved that, we're doing brilliantly. So really happy with the second shot. We expected it to kick back out onto the fairway. First shot ran quite considerably into the right-hand rough. This one's held up on the high side. That's just part of golf. But I'm 109 yards away. Let me just double check that. I did take a reading, but I'll just get another reading just to confirm. Yeah, 109 yards to go to the flag. And we said around about 120 would be my par shot. So I'm pretty much on par. I'm 10 yards closer than on average I need to be, but that's not going to really affect the shot. Now, the next bit we're going to talk about before we get to the green is the mental shot. I want to always play the best possible shot. I want to stick this ball as close to that hole as possible. And I'm going to imagine the best wedge shot I've ever played. And if I play it perfectly, I could end up, let's say, 2-3 feet away from the hole. If I do that, I'm pretty much gaining a complete shot, because the likelihood is I'd putt that in, make a 4, and that's one shot better than the data suggests we should do. Remember, our baseline at the start was a 5. We've played 2 nice shots. We're still on par to make that 5. But what we're going to talk a little bit about now, I'm just going to take my time to go through this. If we start to look at different distances, we've said 25 feet is the average 2-putt. But if we look at a putt, approximately 30% of the time I might hole, which would be about 9 feet away, but still 70% of the time I'm going to 2-putt it. If I end up in that area, I go great. I'm still going to probably make my par. So 7 feet. And if I go the other side, a friendly crow there in the background, I don't know if you can hear him, is if I go out to about 60 feet, on average, I'm going to probably 3-putt that a third of the time, but still 2/3 of the time I'm going to 2-putt it. So you can see now I've got a massive area I can put that ball into, somewhere between 9 feet and 60 feet, and I'd still probably walk off here with my 5. So I take all the pressure off myself because of that. I think anywhere in that area, I'm still looking to hit it 2 feet, 3 feet away. I'm not saying I'm not going to look to play my best shot, but realize anything roughly 10 to 60 feet, 9 to 60 feet is okay. And if we end up around the 25, then we're pretty much bang on. All right, so I've got 109 yards, a little bit of breeze behind, so this is just a nice wedge for me. And it's a bit of a sucker flag. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the flag's on the right side. So I am going to aim about 10 feet left of the hole. Okay, that would be the sensible play. If it does anything, this green, it will probably kick it a little bit left to right. But I've got all those things. I'm still going to play my best shot, but the mentality is if I don't stick this 3 feet from the hole, I stick it anywhere between that 9 and 60 feet, I'm okay. Because on average, I'm still going to get 2 putts from there. So you can see I'm taking the pressure right off myself by not concerning myself with that. I'm just focusing on the shot, play it to the best of my ability, see what happens. Now it's a little bit left of where I aimed, but it should be okay. Okay, and I didn't get a good bounce with the initial shot coming up to the green. I got a very friendly bounce there, kicking me left to right. So I would say I'm probably around about that 20 feet, but obviously from this distance, not easy to see. So you can see by not having pressure and worrying about the shot, I got it up there, I've got it on the green. I've given myself a really good chance to get that 2-putt, get my 5. That's what I should do. So I've come up onto the green. Let's see what we've got. Let's take the flag out so you can see the roll of the ball a little bit better. And let's just pace it out. Roughly 2.5 feet of pace. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 paces. So we said 25 feet, 8 paces is approximately 20 feet. So we're pretty much bang on. So you can see there, although I'm looking to play the best possible shot, I've played pretty much what I'd call average shots. And this is where I see golfers get a little bit upset because they don't realize that's a good shot. If I hit average shot every time, I'm going to shoot level par. I'm never going to be disappointed with that. So that's why the data is so important, because it gets your mind realizing that's okay. All right, so let's go through our green reading method. And what we're looking at here, I can feel in my feet, the low point sort of running towards the camera. So this is a downhill putt, 8 paces. So I think it's just going to drop a little bit from right to left as I'm looking at that. Yeah, I think it's just slightly that way to the camera as I look at it. So I'm sitting at probably about what I'd call 1 o'clock on the clock face. And it was 8 paces. It's probably an average slope. So if you've watched my green reading method video, if you haven't, please go and have a look at it. That's going to break 8 times 2, 16, about 60%. It's going to break about 10 inches from right to left. So that's where I'm going to be aiming, out to the right, knowing that I'm at 1 o'clock. It's a downhill putt. And the goal, if I hole it, it's a bonus. We've created literally a full shot gain. 2-putt it. We've done what we're meant to do. Nice line, hold that line. There we go. And the big thing there was important, because I stayed calm, I then just went up to the putt, read it, we've rolled it nicely down the green, and we've gained a complete shot. And that's how you can make your score. It may not have been the longest tee shot, but it was still within my data. The second shot was good. We made a little bit unlucky that it went in the light rough, didn't come out on the fairway. Third shot, used the bank, came down nicely, and then we hold that 20-foot putt. So we've ended up one shot ahead. We're one under par. Let's go and play the second hole, which is a par 3. Let's use the data to get the idea that we're looking for. So our second hole today is the par 3 second at Corinthians. Really nice hole. Probably it's the only par 3 we've got on the course, actually. That's quite a short par 3. The other two are over 200 yards. And this is playing 148 yards today. Okay, that's where the flag is on the green. That's where, again, rangefinder for me, really good, because you can get the exact distance. Sometimes when you're looking front, middle or back, you have to sort of make the adjustment when you're using maybe the watch. So rangefinder I always use, makes it a little bit easier. So 148, we were slightly downhill on the first. The first is running that way, second runs that way, so we're going slightly into the wind. Again, a hole where I say to the members, look, land it on the green, it will stop. So I'm going to take an 8-iron here to get it on the green. But let's look at our data first. So this is a 3.1 hole. So what that suggests is, even as a professional golfer, I will par this 90% of the time, but I will bogey it 10% of the time. So now if we look at the numbers we looked at before, what's a 2.1 putt? What would be an average shot? Well, an average 2 putt is 25 feet, but an average 2.1 putt, where I'm going to maybe 3 putt on average, 10% time, is around 35 feet. So if I can get this golf ball anywhere 35 feet from the hole, I'm doing what I'm meant to do. If we look at the other data, now we're looking really, again, 15 feet is a really, really good shot. That would be exceptional from this distance. And going out to around that 60-foot number again, still pretty much saying I'm going to 2-putt it and get it down into the hole in that distance. So again, you can see I'm taking the pressure off myself. I'm not thinking, oh, I've got to stick this 2 feet from the hole. Relax. Get an idea of the shot, set up with the intention to do that, but then think to yourself, okay, but I'm okay if this ball ends up in that area, 15 to 60 feet. I'm still going to 2-putt it more often than not. I'm still going to get out of here on average with my par. So that's the goal. And you can see what it did on the previous hole, kept me calm, and then we made a lovely putt to get our birdie. So 1 under at the moment. We're doing a little 3-hole challenge. Let's grab my 8-iron, and let's see what we can do on this tee shot. So because I know the green's receptive, hitting an 8-iron, I can pretty much go straight at that flag. Good swing. Always for me, we see my videos, rhythm and tempo. That's all I'm thinking. Nice and balanced. Well, just a little left of the flag, but should be in our area. Yep, coming down nicely. I would say we're probably around about 15 to 20 feet from the hole. So again, just keeping calm, keeping relaxed allows that work I've done on the practice round to come out on the course. Let's see if we can do what we did on the first and maybe get another birdie. So I've come onto the green, you can see the ball sitting there. Let's again get rid of the flag so you can see what we're going to do. And let's pace it out. Let's see how well we've done. So remember, we should have been around about 35 feet. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paces. So we're looking about 15 feet. So as I said, that's towards sort of the better end of where I should be for my level. So I should be standing over this happy, but I see a lot of amateur golfers hit this shot and walk down here disappointed. I would never be disappointed. If you can guarantee me, and there's nothing guaranteed in this game, but guarantee that I'm going to make a par, well, I'd back myself probably 99.9% of the time I'm going to 2-putt this at worst. Okay, I'm not going to 3-putt this very often. So mentally, there's another par in my mind, but now, can I go to school on the putt and see if we can do what we did on the first and gain a bit more? So what we've noticed on the first hole, I didn't gain anything off the tee. I didn't really gain anything second and third shot. I gained it all with the putt. And some days that's what happens. So we said 6 paces. Let's go through my green reading method. If I filled that hole up with water, I think it would run down here. So my ball is sitting literally the maximum break. I'd say it's an average green, again, 2% slope. So 2 times 6 is 12. So this is going to break a foot from right to left. Okay. So that for me is 3 hole widths to the right. Little mark on the green here. Let's just see what that is. Yes, anything like that that's on your line, like that, it's just a little bit of dead grass, get rid of it. If it's obviously attached, leave it alone, but you can tap it down nowadays. Okay, so just going through my process, nice and relaxed. Trust it, 3 holes to the right. If we can get the pace right like on the first, let's roll it in for another one. Nice stroke. There's the break, but I've just gone maybe just a little bit high with my pace, probably gone a little bit more than a foot. But you can see we've got a tap in par. So from that distance, as we said, I'm probably going to 2-putt that 90% of the time. That's absolutely fine. So I've done what I meant to do. 3.1, I've got my 3. Let's go and play the 3rd hole, the par 4. So the 3rd hole here at Corinthians is a 326-yard par 4. Great hole this, goes up, dogleg round down over a pond, but it's a 3.9 hole for a scratch golfer. So whereas the previous hole, on average, I would bogey it 10% of the time, on average, I should birdie this 10% of the time. So the goal now when I look at that is to think, okay, where should I be relative to the flag after 2 shots? It's around about that 20-foot number. If I can get it about 20 feet away, that's good. Remember, our 25 feet is our average 2-putt, and we're still going to 2-putt most putts from around about 50 feet and under. If we're going to give ourselves a really good chance of holding a putt, maybe we want to be inside that 15 feet. So mentally, it's about putting this tee shot in a place that gives me an opportunity to put it on the green. That's the key thing I'm looking for here. So it's not a big tee shot. Remember, if we look back at the first, about 120 yards was where I'd get on average down in 3. So if I can get it around that area, have 120 yards into the green, I'm pretty much doing what I want to do. If I get it to 100, that's probably on par with what I should do on this hole. Okay, this hole suits my eye. I like this hole. I hit a little draw, and it has a little right to left dogleg. And the way the ground is at the moment, the ball can sort of take the slope and go down towards the green nicely for me. But there's a red and white marker post up there. Just going to aim at that. Tiny little draw. See what we get. So I get a good bounce. That should be really good. Yeah, it's bouncing down there. It can sometimes, though, the fairway, when you get round the corner, cambers a little bit to the left. I might be in the left rough there, but I was on the fairway. It's just whether this hard ground, I get lucky and it carries on, or I might have just been a little bit unlucky and end up in the rough, which, again, lose a little bit of control going into the green. We're going to have a look. I was happy with the shot. Let's go and see what we've got. So we've got to my ball. We were saying if we ended up around about 120, we'd be quite happy. We're a lot further down the hole than that. Let's get a reading so we can sort of tell you where we are. And we've got 84 yards to that flag. Okay, so the hard ground, you can see from the colour of the grass here, really situation where the ball is running, and that's what's physically happened here. I've come down, but 85 yards away, quite happy with that. I'm just going to play a really soft gap wedge, not looking to do anything special here, just a nice smooth gap wedge onto the green, 52 degree, and that flag is smack in the middle of the green. So straight away, what that says to me, and again, just give you another bit of data, just so you understand. Another reading you can take is with the rangefinder is to the edge of the water and think, well, it's 68 yards to carry the water. So it's just good information that says, right, I've got to land this at least 70 yards. I'm looking closer to 80, and then I'd expect it to bounce up and stop next to the flag. But it's an opportunity now to think, can I get this close? Maybe gain a little bit more on what we've done so far. But on average, from here, if I can get it within that 20 feet, we're doing what we're meant to do. Always look to play the best possible shot. 20 foot's an average shot. That's the way to look at it. Looking good. It gets the bounce I want. Well, there's a bush right in the way there, but it looked like it hopped up towards the flag. So hopefully we've got it inside that sort of much shorter distance. We've got a really good chance maybe to nick another birdie. But because I'm not putting any stress on myself, I'm playing better shots. So I knew 20 feet would be okay. I think that's going to be inside 10 feet. Let's see if we can get that birdie. So come up to the green, really happy with the result. Let's see what we got. We said it looked about 10 feet away. 2, 3, so just under 4 paces. So we're probably about 9 feet away from the hole. Okay, and this is a really important stat. Golfers get very frustrated if they don't hold this putt. As a scratch golfer, I'm probably only going to hold this around about a quarter of the time. A tour player will hold this less than half. We're talking probably 40% of the time. So 8 feet is that average 50-50 putt for a tour player. For the amateur golfer, it's about 5 feet. So this isn't a putt that if you miss, you should be frustrated with, because you're going to miss it more than you're going to hold it as an amateur golfer. So looking at the putt, the good thing with this where I've ended up, and it's just by chance, is we have a bush on the green that's sitting directly behind the camera. And what I tell the members is the water, if you flooded this green, everything will run to that bush. So this is now a dead straight uphill putt. Everything's running down the hill towards the camera. This is a dead straight putt. So now it's just having that positiveness to commit to it. Let's see if we can get out of here with another birdie. And then we'll have gained another, well, 0.9 of a shot. We gained 0.1 on the last, 1 on the first hole. See if we can gain another 0.9 of a shot, which gain us 2 shots overall through these 3 holes. Just nice and positive, David, up the hill. Oh, I just pulled it slightly. Speed was lovely. Really like that putt. So I've got out of there with my par. And the best way to look at it is, if you look at what we've done, we birdied the first. It was a par 5, so we gained a full shot. We gained 0.1 of a shot on the second hole, because that was a 3.1, and we've given back 0.1 of a shot. But as we said, 90% of the time, those 2 holes, I should par them, and I parred both of them. That one had a great chance to make the birdie, just didn't quite take it. But what it does for me, it keeps my mind in a really good place, because I'm just playing each shot for what it is, and realize if I know, yeah, get it on the green, for me, 20, 25 feet away on average, I'm going to 2-putt it. If I could do 18 greens like that, I'm going to shoot level par. So look at the data I've done. Go through my 12 shots of golf. Look at the putting. Go back to the average 2-putt. I mean, just to give you that idea, as we said, 2-putting from 25 feet is pretty much what we're looking at, what a player would do, a scratch level. 20 feet for somebody playing sort of single figure, and you're getting down to about 12 to 15 feet if you're playing bogey golf. So understand that, and then have that as your target. If you're putting for par as a bogey golfer, putt it from 15 feet on every hole for par. You 2-putt it, you've just bogeyed every hole. You've just achieved what you wanted to do. So I hope you can see there how that helps my mindset. At no point do I feel any stress as I'm playing shots, because I look at it and realize that's what I need to achieve when I get to the green. And if I can do that, I'm going to score pretty well on the day. Won't always work out well. Today was a bit better than average. We gained a shot. Other days it might not work out so well. I hope you've enjoyed that video. It's gone through the ideas of what I do with my 12 shots of golf, and it's trained my mind to deal with that shot's okay. And in doing that, I'm seeing a massive improvement and consistency in my game when I go out and play. If you have enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel, press that little bell for the notifications, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.